called Mickey 17, right?
Yo, I need to see that movie.
So the movie synopsis, Mickey Barnes has found himself in an extraordinary circumstance of working for an employer who demands ultimate commitment to the job, to die for a living. So he dies and then come back and they send him to do some very dangerous things, and when he dies, they just revive him again, dies, revive him again.
Cloning, just keep cloning him over and over and over and over.
Is it cloning or
I think they clone him,
It's
or
cloned.
organic. No, because his body in some of the instances is totally destroyed.
Yeah, so it's cloned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
There is a anime
Uh-huh.
on Netflix. What was it? Not Love, Sex Robots. There's another one that came out
Uh-huh.
that had an episode that featured a story like that.
Really?
With a guy. So the story goes, he and a girl go up on this planet that they dump garbage on and do experiments. And the girl she's very brilliant, so she eventually left the planet and went to this other place to do the experiments and become this big scientist. And the only way he could get to see her, you hear a man does do something for man, the only way he could get to see her is if he volunteers his body for science. So they experiment on him.
Wow.
So they would bring him into the lab, right? Okay, drop this 150% acid on his skin and see if it goes through the bone. So he's here a bunch of people that they're paying to do this. And as they go to the different experiments that they do with them, all of them dying. But his love for this girl was so enduring that he was practically a robot when he met her.
Wow.
In the end, you know, but I don't know about this. It just seems like one of these comedies.
I hope this movie actually makes Robert Pattinson some money, because I think this is one of the movies that he greenlit and went forward with to not do the. This is one reason.
Who's Robert Pattinson for the listeners?
Robert Pattinson is the sparkly vampire from Twilight.
His name again, Edward?
Edward. And you know,
Batman, he did well in Batman.
He did very well in that Batman movie, but because he's been doing all these different roles,
and he was in Tenet too.
He was in Tenet as well. That it's
and
actually
The King.
They keep pushing back more and more and more the sequel to this Batman movie.
The King was a movie, boss.
Yes.
The King was a movie.
Nobody wants
very understated.
Very understated.
Very understated.
I'm surprised that King didn't win Oscars.
You know, I want to see part 2 of The Gentleman. The one with Matthew McConaughey.
They have a show for that.
They do have a show as well.
Set in the same universe.
Set in the same universe. But I really and truly would love to see a movie, a sequel to that movie with everything combined. You know, definitely. But I hope nobody want to wait till 2027 for watching no sequel. Batman, he's supposed to be like a young version of Batman. Next thing you know, the man have crow's feet. That makes sense.
The timing for things seems to be very, very off.
They don't care about the fans. When you see people do things like this and they wait so long from the original to the second part, I just think that they really truly don't care about the fans, especially when the movie made money.
Well, that's why I don't always watch them movies that is like my anime, like Solo Leveling is out. And they're going on, I think season 2, episode 10 for this season is supposed to drop this weekend. Solo Leveling is
So the rumor mill now have set out a list of the amount of James Bond spin-off that Amazon, have fire up the studios to put out.
Who they looking at for the new Bond?
Boy, nobody black.
Colin,
I can
just so you know, right? The mainline Bond movie is the least of their priorities right now.
It's about sequels.
Jeff Bezos,
it's about spin-offs.
Not interested in a mainline James Bond movie. They're interested in spin-offs.
This reminds me of John Wick.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are waiting to see what they do with the spin-off with the girl.
Ballerina.
But you see, with John Wick, right? A whole different case, because with John Wick, we got to the end of his story.
Yes, which was a beautiful
right?
story.
So now, and it left such a great taste in our mouth, a good feeling, right? That we want to see more of that universe. So when we hear about spin-off stories, we're eager for it. Especially since, for me personally, I think they did a fantastic job with Continental.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I liked it.
The tone
couldn't be the same movie.
matched the era,
Could not.
and it is not John Wick. A lot of people seem to confuse the fact that
It's in the
John
same
Wick
universe.
is the entirety of that universe.
no.
Like how people function is exactly like John Wick. John Wick is just one of many
Right.
in that universe itself. So now what we're seeing is world building, even further expanding
This
that
reminds me of
universe.
Arcane.
Right.
Yes.
Because
Pretty much.
I'm not a gamer. So when I saw Arcane, I was very impressed. I mean, Glenn would put me a laugh like out of pity. I was like, Glenn, what happened? This was Glenn said, Colin, come along, young man. And then when Glenn started to tell me about Arcane and that city just being a drop in the bucket with the world, that is that thing. I was like, what? And then they dropped the trailer. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my ear.